The story you are about to hear is the one that took over the world of entertainment and captured millions of hearts in a single night. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the moments that define love, fame, and everything in between. It began quietly on a mild spring evening in Seoul, a night that felt almost ordinary until it wasn't. The air held that faint warmth between seasons, the kind that makes you stop and feel the promise of something new. Lee Min-ho had been planning this moment for months, perhaps even years if you counted every stolen glance, every hidden smile, and every silent promise between him and Kim Go-eun. The internet would later say it was the proposal of the decade. But before the viral videos, the millions of likes, and the trending hashtags, it was simply the story of two people who had found something rare in the middle of fame and fleeting spotlight. Lee Min-ho had always been known for his poise and mystery. Fans adored his charm, his cinematic aura, the way he carried himself like he belonged to a story larger than life. Kim Go-eun, in contrast, had the quiet brilliance of someone who made every scene she touched feel real. Together, they had once lit up the screen, but what no one had seen was how that light continued long after the camera stopped rolling. Their love story had begun on set, though neither of them had admitted it at first. Rumors came and went, fans speculated endlessly, but the two remained silent, content to let the world wonder. Their bond was quiet but deep, like the ocean under moonlight. And so, when the night of the proposal came, it wasn't staged or extravagant, it was something else entirely. It started with a dinner invitation that Kim Go-eun thought was just another industry event. She wore a simple white dress, elegant but unassuming, never suspecting that the evening would change her life. The restaurant overlooked the Han River, a place the two had visited before, often late at night when fame felt heavy and they needed a moment to breathe. When she arrived, the staff led her to a private terrace. The city lights glittered below, and candles lined the edges like stars that had fallen to the ground. A familiar melody played softly, a piano version of a song from the drummer that had first brought them together. She smiled, recognizing it immediately, and that was when she saw him. Lee Min-ho stood at the far end of the terrace, not in a tuxedo or a designer suit, but in something simple, a white shirt, sleeves rolled up, a look of quiet certainty in his eyes. There were no cameras, no crowd, just the two of them and the sound of the river below. He didn't speak right away. He simply held out his hand, and when she took it, she noticed it tremble slightly, not from nerves but from the weight of the moment. He began to speak then, his voice calm but thick with emotion. He spoke about the first day they met, how she had laughed at something he said, and how that laughter had stayed with him long after the filming ended. He spoke of how love in their world was often fragile, constantly chased by attention on headlines, but how he had never doubted what they had built. Then he said something the world would later replay endlessly once the video went viral. He said, "Go-eun, I used to think my best performances were on screen, but every day with you has been the most honest scene of my life." She smiled, tears welling but refusing to fall. He reached into his pocket and revealed a small velvet box, not flashy, but meaningful. Inside was a ring that caught the candlelight in a way that seemed almost unreal. He knelt, quietly, without spectacle. There was no grand gesture, no rehearsed speech, just a simple question spoken softly enough that only she could hear it. The city below continued to hum with life, unaware that a new story was being written above it. She didn't answer right away. As their story continued, it inspired countless others. Fans began writing letters saying the proposal had restored their belief in real connection. One young fan even said she decided to confess her feelings to someone she admired because of that video. Sometimes, love stories are loud, dramatic, and filled with fireworks. But theirs was proof that love could whisper and still shake the world. The viral proposal became more than just a trend, it became a moment etched in collective memory. It reminded everyone that beneath the lights and the fame, behind the millions of followers and curated lives, there were still hearts that beat the same way ours do. And as the years passed, people would still revisit that video. They would still pause on the moment when he looked at her like there was no one else in the world. They would still quote that line about the most honest scene. Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun never needed to prove anything to anyone after that night. They had already said everything that mattered without needing a script. She simply knelt with him, both of them laughing softly through tears. Then she said yes, so softly it almost blended with the sound of the river. Somehow, though, the moment didn't stay private for long. A staff member who had been recording the setup for what was supposed to be a personal keepsake accidentally shared a short clip on social media. Within hours, it spread like wildfire. The clip was only 20 seconds long, Lee Min-ho on one knee, Kim Go-eun laughing through tears, and that single line about the most honest scene of his life. Fans from every corner of the world shared it. The hashtags trended in multiple languages. Every entertainment outlet scrambled to confirm the news, but by then, the world had already decided that it was real. And when the couple finally posted a single photo the next day, his hand over hers, the ring visible, the caption reading simply, "Forever begins quietly," the internet broke again. Celebrities commented, friends from their drummers sent congratulations, and even those who had never followed Korean entertainment found themselves moved by the sincerity of the moment. There was something timeless about it, something that reminded people of what love could still be even in the age of filters and staged perfection. In interviews later, Lee Min-ho would say he never expected it to go viral. He said he only wanted her to know how deeply he meant it. Kim Go-eun, ever humble, said the real moment wasn't about the ring or the words, but about the quiet after, the way they just sat together, hands intertwined, as the candles burned down. The proposal sparked conversations about privacy, about love under fame, about the line between personal and public life. But more than that, it reminded people that even the most visible stars could have moments of genuine, unfiltered emotion. As their story continued, it inspired countless others. Fans began writing letters saying the proposal had restored their belief in real connection. One young fan even said she decided to confess her feelings to someone she admired because of that video. Sometimes, love stories are loud, dramatic, and filled with fireworks. But theirs was proof that love could whisper and still shake the world. The viral proposal became more than just a trend, it became a moment etched in collective memory. It reminded everyone that beneath the lights and the fame, behind the millions of followers and curated lives, there were still hearts that beat the same way ours do. And as the years passed, people would still revisit that video. They would still pause on the moment when he looked at her like there was no one else in the world. They would still quote that line about the most honest scene.